Hey, Vamp Fans. So, a little preview on what you're getting yourselves into. I didn't even finish the makeup look today. You're gonna see why if you decide to watch the video to the end. Just know this is like my 20th video on this channel. And this is a very serious topic. I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this for attention seeking. I'm literally just telling the story because I just wanted you to get to know somebody who was very special to me. Um there is a lot of ugly crying in this video, I'm not gonna lie. Um but I didn't even get through the makeup look today. I was literally going to do my eyeliner. That's when the water work started. Um but just know when I was going to start this video, when I was going to start this channel in 2024, this was unfortunately one of the reasons why I didn't. And I just want to bring it to everyone's attention why I said I was going to, and I never ended up doing it until just recently. Um, like I said, this isn't for clout. I'm not crying for. I didn't force myself to cry to attention seek because I think that's the dumbest thing in the whole entire world. But I just wanted to I just wanted to let you guys know that there is a lot of crying. Well, not a lot of crying, but there is crying in this video, and I'm telling a story. This would really be with really any other this would really be with any other story. Um Sad story anybody would be telling. Um this is just kind of the aftermath of it. Like, you could still see my nose is pink, my eyes are still kind of watery, but oh, it gets worse. Um, but yeah, I just want everybody to know what's going on, and the next video won't be as like heart wrenching. So without any further ado, let's dive right on into this video. If you hear a lot of feedback and a lot of noise in the background, I do greatly apologize. My brother's watching YouTube videos, and I'm not going to tell him to stop. Hey, Van Fans, Vanfire Queen here, and today we are going to be talking about a serious topic. So, if you are in the middle of like a loss or just grieving or getting older, everyone is doing that. But getting over a loss of a loved one or a pet, or pets are a part of the family, so a loved one, then I suggest that you skip this video because this is going to contain that. Um, go lay down, go rest, go do whatever it is you need to do, and I'll see you in the next video. For those of you who are still here, I just want to give a quick disclaimer that I'm not going to do any foundation. I am going to still do my makeup, but just not like the base makeup and stuff, because let me tell you, I'm going to start crying. It's going to be real. It's going to be ugly. And I do greatly apologize, but I'm not going to apologize for telling the story, because who I'm about to talk about deserves to be known. And he deserves to have his story out for as short as it was. So let's just dive right on into it, I guess. So I'm going to try to attempt this makeup look that I did today. I don't know if I could probably show you guys what I did earlier today. So I'm gonna try to attempt that makeup look again. I didn't do foundation this today either, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna take out what I used for it Um, so today we're going to be talking about um a dog I used to have. Weird start to a video. I've never had to make a video like this before. But I'm going to talk about my dog Oakley. He again, I'll try to post a picture. He was a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. He unfortunately didn't live that long. He was a year and 2 weeks when he passed away. Um, what was the? I think it was like May when I got him. I don't remember the month. I'll have to put that up in there too. It's been a little while. I know there's going to be some people in the comments being like, "He was your dog. You don't remember when you got him." Um, so what I ended up doing first of all is if you are going to pick up an animal or a dog that's licensed or yeah, pretty much any dog, you have to go through a process of really any animal. You have to go through the process of them getting ready to be taken away from their family. You know, after they're born, they have to be like 8 weeks, I think, if I remember correctly, just so that way they're weaned from their mom, and just stuff like that, just stuff like that that you should know. So I think it was like May 2nd. No, let's start at the very beginning. I sorry, like I said, never told a story like this before. So let's start at the very beginning. So it was Christmas of 2022, I believe. And I'm sitting there with my family, and I'm like, I'm doing my research on corgis because I really wanted one. And I'm like, they're really, first of all, let me tell you, corgis are very, you have to be, committed in order to, sorry, I had to see I was still recording, but you have to be committed. It's really with any dog, because if you're one of those people, you don't, those guys are forever. Because there are people who will just get rid of them because they're done with them, and that's messed up. Don't do it. Um, but so it was Christmas, and I was like, I was talking with my mom, and I was like, I think because I'm going to be moving out with my brother, um, I think I want to get a corgi. I think I can be financially responsible and just mentally responsible and emotionally responsible, all that stuff. And my mom and I kind of talked about it a little bit. I was like, how would you feel if I told you that I wanted to get a dog? And she was like, well, you're gonna have to do your research, because if you just get a dog, you don't know what you're doing, so you got to do your research, especially if it's like a corgi. And so, because I told her I wanted a corgi, and she's like, if you really start saving up right now, then you could probably have a corgi by like February or March. So that's when I started doing my research. So, it took a little bit convincing to my dad, especially because he's one of those guys of you really have to know that you are going to be responsible, because this is a one time this is a huge commitment you're making. This is an actual life. It's kind of like having a baby, but corgis, corgis, corgis. Um, but any dog in general. But so it took a little bit of convincing for my dad. At first he was like, no, because you're going to be moving into your brother's house and you don't know what your brother's schedule is going to be like. You don't know what your schedule is going to look like. So, we'll right now it's a no because you're still living with us. But, you know, he's like, I just don't know. I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if you're ready yet. So, time comes and I'm finally like, yes, I'm committed. I talked to my brother. My brother said it was fine. And so the time came, I got on the phone with somebody, I went to I don't know if I can say apps names, but there was an app I had to go on, talk to the actual breeder of the dogs and just basically get the whole entire system going. So, there was another dog named Cookie that I was adorable dog. There was a dog named Cookie that I was going to get, and I've seen that the dogs that I wanted, they were going to be breeding them. So a litter was going to be coming. And I was like, you know, right now I think I want a little bit of time just to see what kind of dogs, that litter has, because that was the litter that I wanted. So, a little bit of time came and went, and she posted about the dogs that had been born. Now, mind you, before this, I had already paid a fee, so I was at the top of the list. If you've ever had a dog, you know what that is. So, I was at the top of the list, so therefore I got the first pick. So, there were two that I was there were two that I was really wanting. One was named Iris, and I think she had a dot on her nose, if I'm not mistaken. And then there was Oakley. Now, Oakley had a dot in the middle of his forehead. And so I told my mom, I was like, I think that one's the one I want. Because he has a dot in the middle of his forehead. So that way, when I kiss him in the middle of his forehead, I could kiss the dot. And I thought it was just like the cutest thing ever. And like the colors that these dogs had, they were tricolored. And I either wanted an, if it's possible, like, which with a Merle, I think a Merle, which has more of like the freckles on the back. Just the coloring is beautiful. Um, is more of like the freckles, because what I want to do is when I get another corgi when the time comes, obviously not for a couple years, but when I get another corgi when the time comes, I want to name them Pocky, because I think Pocky's a really cute name, especially for a dog. I mean Pocky. Um, but Oakley stuck. Oakley just stuck. It it complimented him so well. His personality, just the way he looked, he was perfect. So my mom was like, that one you should get that one. And so I'm like, well, okay, I want Oakley. Oakley is the one I want. Now I contact her and she's like, okay, all right, yeah, I'll put you down for Oakley, and I'll let you know when the time comes for him to be ready for you to have him. Now, obviously it's still a couple months because they were like just born, not like just born, but just born, and young enough. But When the time came, I believe it was May. If not, I'll put the correct date. If I remember, it was May. Um, and I was just thrilled. My mom and I had to go to where was it? Somewhere next to Missoula, Montana. Um, so it was like a 3 hour drive from where I'm at. Uh, it was worth it though. It was worth it. So we got there. Um, we wait. I think maybe it was a half an hour. It wasn't that long because we were waiting for the woman. I'm not going to say where they were coming from because, like I said, privacy reasons. But we had to wait for a little bit. Uh, my mom and I got McDonald's, and just kind of went from there. So when the time came for the woman to bring the dog, I was ecstatic. Um, and as soon as I saw him, fell in love. We went back to our house. Everything was perfect. My dad wasn't so happy. He was like, "You better be taking care of that dog. You better take care of that dog." I was like, "Yes, yes, dad. Yes, dad. I've done I did my research. I'm gonna be taking care of him. Don't worry. I take care of him. I take care of the baby." And the first night, like the first couple months were like obviously it's kind of like having a new baby where they want to get up, they need to go potty, they need to do all the things that you got to do. Um so the first few months were a little I had to get used to it, but it was worth it. Every single one of it was worth it. And so it would just kind of get to the point where he'd wake up. He'd just wake up and kind of start barking at me. And it was cute because he'd kind of do like a little whisper bark and then he'd kind of get louder if I didn't wake up. And so I'm like, "Yes. Yes, Oakley, I'm getting up." So I'd get up with him and then, take him outside. If you don't remember from my vlog channel, we used to have a sliding door. So I just kind of stand in the sliding door with him going to the bathroom and, doing his thing. And then he'd come right back inside and then he'd go lay down and go back to sleep. So, um, I had to, jobs after that, he stuck with me through a little bit, which I won't talk about here right now. But he'd stick with me, he stuck with me through a lot. And when his birthday came up the year after that, we did everything for him. I spoiled him on Christmas, the Christmas after. Uh, I spoiled him. I got him a hedgehog, a lobster. I think I got him some treats too. He was just a little happy camper. So, like for his birthday, my mom got him like a little putt cup. He was just a little happy camper and he loved everything. He loved everything, everyone. A couple days before he passed away, I wanted to take him out on more walks because he didn't really get to live a lot and he was in a room which is one of my biggest regrets. Like I said, if you're going to get a dog, please just make sure you have the room to have that dog. You know, he was in a room which I regret. because he didn't get to live a lot. So I'd take him I took him to the lake because I wanted him to at least go out and see more. Um, I wanted him to go out and see more because he's a baby. He's going to have his whole entire life ahead of him, right? Right? So we go to the lake and he kind of splashes around a little bit and I just kind of walk him around and like this part's going to be really hard. The next day everything was fine. He was having the time of his life being himself. I went out, I got him some toys, I got him little boots so that way whenever we went on our walks, our future walks that we never got to have, um, I got him little boots so that way, he didn't hurt his paws. He hated those. He hated those so bad. I tried putting them on, and then he was like flailing his little arms around, and then this boot went that way, that boot went that way. One landed underneath my bed, and I was just like, okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to get used to them. There's still going to be plenty of time for you to break into them. Um, so that night, he we went to bed, and he woke me up to get him to go to the bathroom. Now, mind you, before this, I did clip his. I did try to clip his claws. So, when he didn't let me do that because I didn't do it often, I didn't do it often. Um, so I thought he was angry with me for clipping his claws. Dogs can be very. Dogs can be very. They can be sassy when they need to be. He sure was. Um, he wasn't acting like himself, and he sorry. that that night he wasn't acting like himself, and just I couldn't get him to play or anything. He was, he was just so emotionless. He'd go out and go to the bathroom and everything, but I thought everything was going to be fine. I'm like, maybe he just needs some rest. Maybe he just needs to hold out until tomorrow, and then everything will be fine. Uh, Everything wasn't fine. Everything wasn't fine, though. Sorry. Um, uh, he went to bed, um, woke up a couple more hours later. Um, he was the same. I woke up. He didn't wake me up. Uh, at first, I was assuming the worst. I was assuming the worst. Um, I got up out of bed. I looked under my bed because I knew he was there. He always stayed there. And um, he I saw him blink, and he was very faintly breathing. So I'm like, oh, everything's fine. Everything's gonna be okay. I pulled him out from underneath the bed, and immediately, as soon as I pulled him out, he started bleeding from there. And I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't good. This shouldn't be happening. So I immediately called my mom, which your first thought would immediately be the vet, but I called my mom because my mom is like, she loved him so much. She would literally call him her grandpuppy because he was just he was just that close with family. Um uh, so I'm like, "Mom, he's bleeding. He's bleeding from there." Obviously can't say the name of it on here, but I'm like, "Mom, he's bleeding." And she's like, you need to call the vet. You need to call them and do an emergency walk-in. I'm like, okay, okay. And so I I get on the phone with the vet, and let me just say, our vet over here, they're amazing. I I know they did their best with him. Um so I'm like, he's super lethargic, and he's bleeding from there. And I'm like, I need to do an emergency walk-in. And they got him in. And it was a little bit of a wait. I'm like, that's fine. So I pick him up, I put him in my car. Sorry. I I pick him up and I put him in my car, and just on the way over there, I on the way over there, I'm telling myself everything's gonna be fine. And he's just looking at me like, he's just looking at me the whole entire way over there. I look at him and I'm like, everything's gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna live. You're gonna be fine. And I go in there and uh, I see the receptionist, and she's like, I the one that takes him back, and she's like, "You weren't kidding that he's bleeding," and it's kind of in the back of my mind. I'm like, "Yeah, I know I wasn't kidding because I that's not normal. I know what I saw." No hate to anybody though. Um, I apologize because he bled. He left like a trail of blood, and they had to clean it. And I offered to help clean it up, and they just said, you could just fill out the paperwork, and it's fine. You don't have to. You can just fill out the paperwork, and we'll call you. Um, Not very much of a makeup story time Monday, is it? Um, so I I go home. I can't sleep, so I go home, start cleaning up my room a little bit because it was messy. He had an accident underneath my bed, which he couldn't get up. And I never blamed him for that. Um, he they called me and told me kind of throughout the day, he's doing fine. Um, they were saying he got into rat poisoning. Um, but they were saying that he might have enough white blood cells to fight it off, I think it was. So I'm like, okay, so do we know how bad it is? Do we know if he's gonna live? We don't know. We don't know if he's gonna live. We don't know how bad it is. We don't know how bad I got. All we know is that he might have a possibility because of all the white blood cells he has, hopefully to fight it off. So immediately I'm just like, okay, okay, he's gonna be fine. Um, I call my mom. I keep her updated. Um, I think it was like maybe 1:30, 1:50. Um, my mom and I were gonna go in and see if we could go in and see him, just to just for him to kind of have a fighting chance. Yeah, like at 1:50. Um, Beck called me. I'm just gonna put my eyeliner away because I don't know if I'm gonna finish this. The vet called me and told me he passed away before they could help it. That sentence still haunts me. That sentence still haunts me. After she hung up, all I could really do was call my mom and say he's gone. His ashes are still at my parents' house because I don't have the heart to bring him over. I'm just not ready yet. I'll do their stories in another video, but a week later I got hammy. A week later I got hammy. After he passed away, I couldn't even go in my room because I knew I would walk in there, he wouldn't be there. He wouldn't come out from underneath the bed and just see me. I miss my little guy. I miss him so much. I told you there'd be a lot of ugly crying in this. I couldn't even finish my makeup. I knew it was gonna run. No, but I'll probably do my intro after this. Crying and everything. Just puffy eyes, pink ass nose. Um, I already told my mom I was going to make this video because you guys deserve to know. You guys deserve to know who he was because if he was still on here, I would be making a lot of my gaming videos with him. Because he's not a cat. I don't bring my cats in here because they jump up all over shit. They knocked that down. They knocked that down. My ring light earlier. I told my brother, I was like, the office door doesn't have to be closed, it's just preference. Because I want them to at least explore some of the house. I just have things set up in here a certain way. I put him in one of my TikToks, so if you're here from TikTok, that's where Oakley went. Because I know he was in my Sally Face TikTok, and he was in one of my he was in my Gothic makeup tutorial on what I was doing. I like, and I'll explain this in the intro. This is like my 20th video on YouTube. I don't want you guys thinking I'm doing this for clout. I just literally wanted to tell you a story about someone who you would know and who you would love and who would love you guys if he wasn't gone. I can't even listen to the I think it's the happiest year of my life, or the happiest days of my life, without crying because that reminds me of him. I literally had him for a year and 2 weeks. didn't have him for a year and 2 weeks. I had him for he was a year and 2 weeks when he passed away, but you guys know what I mean. I had him for at least a year. Or almost a year. I still haven't filled out his papers. I can't even tell the person who gave him to me that he's gone. So, again, I'll explain this in my intro, but this is one of the reasons I didn't start my YouTube video back in 2024 like I said I was going to. Because he was still alive in my Sally Face short. He passed away, other things happened, and I just couldn't get myself to do it. I tried. I had a Sally Face video with him in it that I was going to start, that I was going to do. I didn't even finish my makeup. Like I said, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this for sympathy. I'm not doing this for more subscribers. I just want to tell a story. So before anybody starts writing in the comments, she's doing it for attention, I'm doing it for him. I'm doing this for someone you wish you knew. So, please don't write that. Please don't write anything like that. So, I think I'm gonna go and do my intro, just so you guys know what to expect. My next reaction video, well, my next video, which should be a reaction video, is going to be, probably a try not to get scared. It's a Halloween coming up. So, yeah, I hope all of you have a good night or a day, wherever you guys are at. It's nighttime over here. But, I hope you guys have a good night. Sleep well. Like I said, if you're going through anything like this, get some rest, drink some water, eat food. Just go on like they would want you to go on. So, as always, I will see you guys in the next video. So until then,